2020 has certainly had its share of challenges, but as survivors, we are always ready to overcome obstacles. So welcome to the Duke Cancer Institute Survivor Day Cooking Demonstration Home Edition, and welcome to my kitchen. So from the comfort of your home and mine, let's talk about food and how we can build our immunity to become an unwelcome host to viruses and other diseases. Whether you're a survivor, a supporter, or a struggler, wherever you are, today is a good day to look at all the possibilities when we choose to eat foods with benefits, foods that love you back. And today we're going to talk about seaweed, sea vegetables. And you know, we know about seaweed mostly from those sushi rolls, the California rolls that have the nori sheet wrapped around them. But there are many, many sea vegetables and many ways that we can incorporate that into our diet. So sea vegetables have lots of micronutrients. They have iodine, which is a necessary nutrient. However, if you are allergic to iodine, you want to avoid eating any of the sea vegetables. And if you have an anaphylactic allergy to seafood, please check with your healthcare provider to make sure that eating sea vegetables is allowed in your diet. Okay, so many different sizes, shapes, colors of seaweed. What we're going to make today is wakame. Now the handout that accompanies this video is going to tell you all about the different kinds of seaweed and the different shapes and the different forms. But wakame is a popular one for seaweed salads. It's very mild in flavor. This is what it looks like when it's dry. So if you see, it's these little pieces that really look black. And I'm going to start out, because this takes a few minutes, by adding some water to this, and you can see the transformation for yourself. When you're rehydrating your seaweed, you always want to add more water than you think. So I had a half a cup of seaweed, and I probably put about 2 cups or more of water, because it's going to puff up. It more than doubles. It really quadruples in size as it's rehydrated. And this takes about 5 minutes, but that varies depending on your seaweed. So why that seaweed is rehydrating, I want to say, this is a typical one that you find at every grocery store, Harris Teeter, Food Lion, wherever, either in the Asian section or in the international section. You can also go to an Asian market where you're going to see so many different kinds of amazing seaweed. These are a seaweed snack that you're probably familiar with. These little seaweed crackers, these are nori sheets. And I love these, and I like to keep them in my car, my purse, for a little snack if I'm out somewhere and I need something. They're salty and crunchy and actually beneficial. Another one that I talk about when I make bone broth, and if you watch that video, you'll know more about bone broth, is kombu. So kombu is another seaweed, and it is thicker, and it comes in a lot of different forms. I think this one has sheets, but it's thick. And this has great micronutrients. I add this to my bone broth, but you'll see when you buy cans of beans sometimes, like chickpeas or black beans, that they have seaweed added to it. And they use the kombu because kombu helps to soften the beans while they're cooking. This is another brand that is commonly available in stores, this Emerald Cove. And if you can't find it in any of your regular grocery stores, you can always buy it at the online retailers. And it's inexpensive. So a bag like this is going to be under $3. And a bag like this goes a long way. As you can see, let's look at our seaweed that just minutes ago I added that water to. And you can see it's not quite ready, but it's turned green already. And it's just puffing up and doing what it's supposed to do as it rehydrates. So I'm gonna let that sit, and I'm gonna make a salad dressing that's gonna go in our seaweed salad. I love ginger, and as a cancer survivor, wherever you are in that process or in the past, you know that ginger was your friend. Ginger, and this is what a fresh ginger root looks like. Ginger is so soothing for our tummy, and I still make ginger tea, and I love it. So, but I like the spice of it. I love the flavor of it. I use it in sweet, savory, lots of different ways. So this is a salad dressing that uses both ginger and miso. And the miso that I'm using is a chickpea miso, which actually is both gluten-free and soy-free. So if you have food allergies like I do, soy can be a problem and gluten can be a problem. And it used to be that we couldn't have any miso because it was either fermented soybeans or they added barley or some other gluten-containing grain. But now you can get them, and this brand and all the misos are going to be sold in the refrigerated section of the grocery store. Okay, so in this recipe I have a tablespoon of miso, and I'm going to add to that a tablespoon of water because I really need to kind of break that miso down and let it mix up. So I'm going to stir that up for a couple of minutes, but I'm going to add some more liquid. It's already softened and become like a paste. I'm going to add to it, what I'm using is an organic reduced sodium soy sauce. So it does have soy in it, and if you can't use soy, but it is gluten-free. So if you can't have soy, you can use coconut aminos, which is both gluten-free and soy-free. So I need 2 teaspoons of my soy sauce. And I'm going to add to that 2 teaspoons of sesame oil. And add to that 1/4 cup of rice wine vinegar. So rice wine vinegar, you'll see it in any grocery store. It's one of the least expensive and the least acidic of the vinegars. But sometimes they add sugar and salt to it. So look for one that is unseasoned and unsweetened. So I'm adding 1/4 cup to that. Okay, now I'm going to whisk this together till I break down all of that miso. Which I have done. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of oil, and I would recommend either using an extra virgin olive oil or avocado oil. And avocado oil has no flavor, so it's not going to change the flavor. The last thing I'm adding is 2 tablespoons of fresh ginger, and this gives it some kick and flavor, and it's fabulous. So this salad dressing, as you saw, came together really fast. It makes about 5 ounces. I'm going to pour this into a jar. It makes about 5 ounces, and you're not going to need all of that for your seaweed salad. So you can save it, and well, I had made 2 of these so I could show you one that's already made, and I had that leftover salad dressing that I just poured on a salad last night. But another really tasty thing you can do is you can make the salad dressing, add a tablespoon of tahini, which is just sesame paste, put it in the blender, and you get this creamy salad dressing that is good as a dip or on your salad, and it's really wonderful. Okay, salad dressing. Look at our bowl of seaweed. It's beautiful green, it's totally puffed up, and it's ready for us to go. So I'm gonna strain that. So this half cup is going to give you about 2 cups of rehydrated seaweed. Just want to get all those drips out of there. Okay, so now we're going to assemble our salad. And I am going to add my seaweed. And I'm going to add to that some shredded carrot. This is 1 carrot that I shredded. So it's going to add texture, it's going to add a little sweetness. So seaweed, the flavor of seaweed is called unami. So the Japanese identified this 5th sense. There is sweet, salty, bitter, and now I know there's a 4th one: sweet, salty, bitter, and sour. And then the 5th sense is unami. And unami gets its name from kind of a hard to describe flavor that you find in aged cheeses and aged meats. And the reason for this flavor is, the reason that it is what it is because of the presence of glutamate. And I know everybody freaks out when I say that word glutamate, because all they think of is monosodium glutamate, and back years ago that was like the evil thing that you never wanted to eat. But glutamate is actually an amino acid that we need, and that is in all kinds of foods that you probably eat every day. It's in, like I said, it's in the hard cheeses, it's in meats, it's in all the seafood and fish that you eat. It's in tomatoes, ripe tomatoes. It's in sunflower seeds. So there's a lot of different places we get that, and it isn't a bad thing. It's not an MSG, it's just glutamate, and that gives it that unique flavor that we call unami. So what we want to add some other flavors to this. So I'm adding the carrots, and I'm also adding some cucumbers, which is a common addition in seaweed salad. And I very thinly sliced some radishes. So what I did is I took red radishes as well as some daikon radishes, which have a little kick to them. And if you don't want that kick, you can just make sure that you get the red radishes that have less. And now we're going to add our salad dressing. And I just want to spoon it out because I want to make sure I get some of that ginger in there, but I don't want to put too much in. Fold all this in together and get a beautiful, colorful salad. If you noticed, I'm going to pull one of these out just to talk about it. The cucumber that I used is peeled, and I took the seeds out. So what I did is I got a long, thin, organic cucumber. I peeled it, I sliced it horizontally, and then I took a spoon and I scraped out the seeds. That's why we have little C-shaped cucumber pieces. Cucumber seems to cause some digestive problems for a lot of different people. And I have learned that the digestive problems is either from the seeds or the skin. So I took that out. But if you don't eat cucumbers or you don't eat radishes, you could add red bell peppers to this, or whatever your favorite vegetable to give you a little crunch and color. Okay, I think we are done and ready to go. And again, we have a beautiful salad here. And the magic of Food TV or Duke Cancer Institute TV, I have a batch that I already made. So if you want to spice it up a little bit, I have a Korean daughter-in-law, and she and I have made a lot of different seaweed salads. But before we eat it, we might add to this a fresh avocado, so we have some creamy texture to go with that. We could add sesame seeds, or we could add pumpkin seeds, or whatever kind of seedy crunch you want. And then we like to top it off with kimchi. And this is a brand that I get at the grocery store, the wild brine, but it's Korean kimchi, and it is so delicious. If you like that spicy kick, you can add this to your kimchi, and I know that you will enjoy it. So that is what I'd like to share with you about seaweed. I hope that I have inspired you to stretch out beyond California rolls and try some unique kimchi or some unique seaweed salads. Thank you for joining me. Look for other fun cooking videos on Duke Cancer Institute's survivorship page. And until then, wishing you all good health and good food. Bye-bye.